Hey guys, it's Michelle with Michelle Creations. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. Today I wanted to talk to you about Simple Stories 2025 in-person retreat that took place in Utah. So first I'm going to share with you a quick intro from little snippets from the retreats so you can kind of get a taste of what we received and interacted with, and then we'll dive right in. So sit tight. All right guys, I am heading down to the Simple Stories shopping event and let's figure out how it's going to go. So I left my room and I'm heading over to the convention center. I love how they connect. Right now it is a crisp 41 degrees outside. It's crazy. And it was raining earlier this morning, very overcast at 10 o'clock in the morning here in Utah, but I am like super excited. So yeah, very different from Florida obviously, but here we go. So here we are in Simple Stories 2025, totally rad retreat in Layton, Utah, which I'm very excited about. And then I wanted to share with you our registration goodie bags that we get to pick up later after shopping. So they're all lined up waiting for us to pick up in about an hour. And first we're going to head over to the shopping area. So I did a lot of filming here. I tried to not get people's in the shot, so I'm just sharing with you how they're sorting all of their prepackaged kits and then the prices associated with them. They kind of ranged anywhere from $5 to $25, and obviously it's older product, but you will see later in this video kind of like an overview of the whole shopping area. Again, it's very overwhelming. I went through this area 3 times within the 3 days that I was there. You never know what you're going to come across. So as I'm making my way down the row, I'm pretty much just going section by section. And then here is actually the area where you're going to come across that they had the $5, which we're getting to in shortly, the $5 individual packs of all the different sports. So I did pick up a few of these for $5. I thought it was a really good deal. So I'm just kind of going through them and just sharing with you all the different options that they had available. I would tell you by the end of the retreat, this was almost completely gone. They actually brought more product out. I believe I overheard someone say they had to go to the warehouse each afternoon because product was just depleting, which to me was great to hear. And then here is the overview. You can definitely see there was more to the store. They did have new product. They had other product as well. And then I wanted to take you outside because, you know, I'm from Florida, so we don't have mountain views like this. So I wanted to give you a little taste of what I kept seeing every time I went outside of the retreat. But the views here are just so breathtaking.
We appreciate you guys being here. Really, this was a hobby of my wife's that turned into what I call the American nightmare. Okay? Because number one, I'm self-employed, and number two, my wife is my business partner. So, just kidding. You know, we've been going strong for a long time now, and we know. I get emotional when I get tired. Okay, so I must be tired. But we know that we couldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. And so we appreciate your guys' support over the years. And that's why we love to do this retreat, because this gives us the opportunity to be with our fans and the people that love Simple Stories. And so for us, this is a huge deal to be able to be here and to put this 3-day event on for you. A lot of things going on, a lot of fun, and we're excited to get things kicked off.
So this is our take and make. This is the first crafting project of the retreat to get us going and started. So I just wanted to share with you real quick, which I'll go into depth later. And then we received goodies the 2 first nights. So this is the crop night that we got the first goodies of the take and make. You can see we have many options to choose from. It's just a little overwhelming at the same time, but it's also nice to have. And then this is just me heading to classroom day 1, and then crop night 2. These were the different goodies we got, and I did partake into this one. I didn't do the first night. And this is day 2 of classes where I'm gearing up for the event. And here's a photo of all of us at the retreat. I'm very glad we were able to take this shot. All right, so I wanted to really put a little snippet of when Kevin is explaining about the retreat to all of us as our welcoming, only because I felt like it was important for you to feel the kind of energy that you receive at this retreat, because I cannot stress it enough how much of an environment this retreat is in person. It really cannot compare to any other retreat. Now, I did attend the 2024 in-person retreat for Simple Stories. That was my first ever major in-person retreat, which I shared with all of you last year. And it just keeps getting better. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. So what I want to do for you guys, and I kind of put some notes, so I am reading off of something that I wrote down because I want to make sure I don't forget anything. I'm kind of put together about 4 videos for you guys. This one's going to be the intro, and then I'm going to share with you the classes, and then another video is going to show you all the stuff I only purchased at Simple Stories, along with the table gifts that I received from so many generous new friends and old friends, and some subscribers. And then also my last video will be what I purchased. I know it just keeps I don't know where I'm gonna store all this stuff. Where I purchased in Utah at some independent local stores that you also can purchase online. So I'm gonna share with you their information. And then of course I had to do some thrifting too, so that's included. So these are all going to be for this week, so you definitely want to hit that subscribe button and have the notifications on, so that way you can be alerted. If you did already sign up for the 2026 Simple Stories retreat, this might also help you out, as well as my mistakes that I made last year, if you want to check that one out. If you did not sign up for the 2026 Simple Stories Retreat, there is a wait list already started because the event already sold out. So you definitely want to get on the wait list. I will tell you, I heard a lot of people, life interrupts us, you know. I heard a lot of people had to cancel or not attend in person. So a lot of people actually was able to attend because they were on the wait list. So I urge you, if you're interested, to at least try, right? Because you just never know. So enough said about that. I will have to tell you that the owners of Simple Story, Kevin and Amber, really do not, how to explain it, their generosity is just amazing. Their staff is amazing. I will tell you that this time around we had 2 different groups versus 3. I appreciated the smallness to it in retrospect. Even though there was the same amount of people, it actually felt like you were cozier, if that makes sense. The environment in itself, what the teachers brought in their techniques, and the classroom environment for every class we had was also amazing. And so if you did not see or have never attended a Simple Stories retreat, I'll kind of break it down for you. And I'll go over this again in my classroom walkthrough. But pretty much this year we had 2 separate groups that you were divided to. Each table at each group had about 5 people. It was a circle table, but don't be stressed out. I felt it was ample enough space, and you meet new people. I actually appreciated the closeness to the table, because if you meet new friends or if you're there with your friends, I didn't feel like I had to scream across the room and disrupt others because you were all there together. But I really didn't mind the circle portion. I know in other retreats like I attended in Texas, you got a whole 6-foot table, but I felt like I had to take a plane trip to my partner and get out of my chair and walk over there and talk to them, which to me kind of took a little bit away from the reason why I'm in person, right? So again, it just depends on your opinion and your viewpoint. If you've never attended one, maybe this is just like, oh, it's no big deal. But if you've attended one and had ample enough room, or if you're one that likes to spread out, just be aware of that, because you want to enjoy yourself, you know? So we still had that. What was nice this year was we actually had assigned seats. It sounds a little scary, but I actually enjoyed it because of the fact that you knew where you were sitting versus standing in line 20 minutes before the doors open to make sure you got a seat with all your friends or find a seat with new friends. So it was actually nice, and I'm very glad that that was a new thing that they did this year at the retreat. What else? I wrote everything down in order and I'm going off script, to be honest with you. I'm trying to see what else. We did have, I felt, a little bit longer of a dinner break than we did in last year, which I appreciated because I was able to go shopping. Probably something I shouldn't have been able to do, but I did. And I will tell you, I did venture out to more stores than I did last year. Last year I did rent a car, and I did rent a car this year as well. If you're going with a bunch of people, you obviously can share that expense. But I felt like if you can afford it, I would suggest it. The airport to where the convention center is a good 30-minute drive. So you definitely want to take that into consideration if you're going to Uber, to include that in your expense to and from. There are a lot of places around the hotel that you can eat at. They do offer the option outside of our classrooms where the hotel provides an option to purchase like hot dogs and nachos and random stuff. I guess you would really find that a movie theater kind of concept. But to me, like if you want to have like a salad or something like that, you definitely want to go to their nearest grocery store, stock up. They did have a Target right behind, which was a Target that had groceries. And so that's what I did. And you have a refrigerator and a microwave in your rooms if you're staying at the Hilton. So you pretty much can just have your meals depending on what kind of meals you want. I had it where my breakfast and lunch was at the hotel to kind of conserve my spending money. And then my dinner, I actually did one night, I think it was a crop night. I went to Little Caesars, which was not that far away. It was actually in front of a Daiso. Yeah. We don't have them here in Florida. Well, anywhere near me at least. So it was right near a Daiso, so I said, why not? So I went to the Daiso, and after the Daiso, I got my Little Caesars, and the pizza actually lasted me the entire duration of my stay because I only had like 2 slices a night. I'm sure by the third night it didn't really taste that great. But the point I'm trying to make is you can definitely skimp on spending certain areas to be able to afford to spend in others. And you know what I'm referring to? That would be the shopping area for the crafts, right? The other things that I kind of wanted to mention as well is last year I made the mistake of not listening to advice from others in the group that had attended the first retreat at Simple Stories, and I listened this time around and I did exactly what they said to do. And that essentially is to pack a suitcase in a suitcase. So depending on what your checked bag size would be and whatever your carry-on size would be, you definitely want to figure out if one can fit in the other. And then when you pack, that is how you're packing. The reason why I say this is because last year, if you saw my video or will see my video, you'll see that on my return flight, I paid $179 or $149 for my check bag because it was 79 pounds. It was just like, what was I thinking? And it was marked heavy. Like, who wants to have a suitcase marked heavy? Like, not me. So this time around, I actually bought one of those foldies, which are, I'm sure everyone sees them on social media. It's where it could be as a duffel bag and expand, and it could be a carry-on, but really it can go underneath the foot, your personal item section of your airplane. I tested it out. I packed that sucker like you have no idea. And I took my what is it called? My carry-on suitcase inside my checked bag. I took that with me with a foldie as my personal item. I arrived at Simple Stories. I arrived in Utah and I went shopping. I'm going to show you all of that throughout the whole week. And then when I got to leave, I also purchased an option of a box to come home with me from Simple Stories, and I'll discuss that in a minute. along with my checked bag and then my carry-on, which I ended up checking because it was a little for me to lift up. I was like, I don't feel comfortable with that, so I checked it again anyway. So I had 2 checked bags and I still had my foldie as my personal item. So technically, if I bought a second foldie, I could have made that my carry-on, which I'm probably gonna do next year in 2026 because when I indicated that I decided to opt into the box to have Simple Stories ship for me at my cost, so I'm only paying shipping, they provided me with the box to fill. That actually was a $40 fee, and not to say that's wrong, a $40 fee, but it was only 26 pounds. So I'm just trying to help you with the math. And then it took about 2 weeks or so to arrive here in Florida from Utah. So why I'm mentioning this is because of the following. If you are impatient like me and you want your stuff now and you don't want to wait, you might want to bring a second duffel bag, a foldie, if you know what I'm referring to, and I'll try to show that in my next video because I didn't grab it in time for this video. But you definitely want to have means in order for you to have the capability of coming home with everything. If you are fine and very patient, I bless you, and you can just wait, then you should go ahead and do that. And there's not a limit with how many boxes Simple Stories ships for you because you are paying for the shipping. I will say that I overheard, I think it was Kevin made the comment that last year in 2024, they had 4 pallets of boxes to ship out from the guests that attended the event. So it does take quite some time, and I honestly cannot tell you how many boxes are on a pallet. I guess it depends on the weight itself to carry off of a forklift, but they have to manually go box by box to make sure they're shipping it to you and not to someone else, and then they have to charge your account. So there is a process, and these are the same people that you just attended with at the event. So you have to be very mindful and give everyone grace in the sense that it's going to take time. So that's just my little tip and, comment to the situation. So if you're okay with that, by all means, go for it. Now, I feel like this year it was almost around 6 pallets. And of course, I wasn't there, so I don't really know, but I think it was close toward that because from the fact that I kept hearing that they had to go back to their warehouse to get more product in the store, like I felt that was amazing. Like I want them to continue on being prosperous at these events because that just means they're going to keep doing it hopefully every year. I just love these things. So these are just some things that I kind of wanted to point out to you in regards to, again, what I came across or what I experienced, because everyone has a different experience and everyone goes through things differently, and my opinions and my situation could be slightly similar or different from yours. Or maybe I say something that just turns on a light bulb and you're like, oh, well, I kind of take from her and do something else. So that is pretty much everything in regards to that stuff. One last thing I do want to kind of mention is the product, and the reason why I kind of reference the amount of bags to bring. Each class you are taking, and there are 6 physical classes. So you're taking 3 classes one day, 3 classes the next day. You are receiving pretty much the entire collection of that class, regardless of what you use. Just craziness. So understand that if you were to purchase on your own a full collection from Simple Stories, you can pretty much see the weight and the size of it. Now multiply that by 6. Not only that, you also, on the first night that I kind of showed you in this video, you're getting your first take and make. Now the take and make is not a full-blown collection because it's a specialty collection that they actually designed for the retreat, which I love. Last year's retreat, they actually eventually made it into a public collection that they offered later, actually in 2025, which was awesome. But I don't know if they do that every year or if that was a one-off based on people's requests for it. So again, it's very exclusive, which I absolutely love, that you feel a little bit more special than anything else because you have to be at this retreat to get that collection. And then not only that, but every night you walk into the crop room doors, and there's 3 days of crops, you get another mini collection. I say mini because it's not a full-blown collection like in class. in regards to mini, and I'll show you in the next video for the classrooms, you pretty much get, I would say, 12 by 12 paper pack, some washi, and maybe some ephemera and stuff like that. You're not going to get the 6 by 8 paper pad. You're not going to get all the embellishments. So it's very minimal, maybe 3 or 4 SKUs. But regardless, it's like something you did not plan for, and then you have that again as weight. So that alone, if you did not shop, if you did not do anything beyond just attending the retreat and having a good time, that's a lot of product and weight. So now you add in the shopping. Now I will say that this year, because I attended 2024, there were some, not all, some kits that were already done from last year's classes. So those I did not purchase, but they did have other curated kits that I was either thinking about or didn't purchase, or maybe I wanted more of. So I did purchase those. And again, I will share with you in the third video that I mentioned. But again, you're adding more products. The other thing is that if you didn't get any merchandise previously from the retreat, because they do give you, I think it's around a 6 month before the retreat event, some merchandise options that you can purchase, a t-shirt, sweatshirts, random stuff. If you did not opt into that, they do have whatever didn't sell at the event, which is always limited. You never know if you're going to find your size or the color option you wanted. So I always urge you that if you are attending the Simple Stories retreat and that option becomes available, see if you can purchase it beforehand. You do have an option to pick it up at the location or have it shipped to your house before the event. So it's your choice. And then they have newer products there, but those are not discounted. So at their store, there's no discounted rate to anything that's current for their product line. So there's no 10%, there's nothing like that. It's just basically a storefront, like you would go to their website and you would basically shop. The only difference is you get your product now. It's not shipped to you, unless again, you ship your box home because you don't have a suitcase space. So anyways, that's pretty much like all the stuff that I wanted to talk about. Oh, the hotels. I forgot about that. Okay, so the last 2 years, I actually stayed at the Hilton, which is attached to the convention center. If you don't travel much or you don't stay at the Hilton, this may not pertain to you in some aspects, but the Hilton actually has an option that you can sign up for their membership. When I did, it was free, and I think it's still free. And you want to kind of do that if it is, because when you sign up for their membership, you get a username and password and all that stuff. And then you purchase your room for the event, download their app on your phone. The day before check-in, whatever day that happens to be for you, you can actually select your room. Yes, it's so nice. I say this, and I probably shouldn't give away my secret, but I say this only because if you are unaware of it, maybe you want to do it. But you actually can choose your room the day before. I say this because the last 2 years, was able to choose the first floor. The first floor is amazing because number one, you don't have to patiently wait for an elevator to go up to your room. And depending on how many rooms are on the first floor available for the event, if you're rooming with someone or you're going solo, like I have in the last 2 years, I will not in 2026, which I'm so excited about. You can actually choose your room on the location. I always got the first room, which I believe was near the pool or the exercise room, only because it was right there, but if unfortunately you're able to not get a first floor room and you have a second or third, then you're just gonna have to wait for the elevators. Something to note about: there are bathrooms on the first floor near the convention center, so don't fret about that. But to me, if you just want to run to your room, grab something to eat, and then run back, it's waiting for the elevator kind of sucks. So that's something I just want to know. So you definitely want to become a member, download the app. Then the day before check-in, I believe it's 24 hours before, you check the app and it'll tell you, oh, your room is available to select. And then you just select your room on the app. And actually the day of, it actually gives you your room key on your app, so you don't even have to go to the front desk. It actually charges whatever card you have on the account. You don't have to go to the front desk. It's like you just walk in with your suitcase and go straight to your room like if no tomorrow. And that's what I did this year, and it was like piece of cake. Everyone's there waiting in line to check in, and I'm just going straight to my room. So it was kind of cool. places in the area to shop at, there is a Hobby Lobby, there is Michael's, there is Five Below. Of course, this is all 2025. I don't know if things will change in Utah, but as you know, companies do things. There is Goodwill. Yes, I had to mention that because I shopped there twice. And you know, depending on what interest you're looking for, oh, there's Daiso too. And then again, places to eat at. There's a bunch of restaurants and fast food depending on what you want. You know, I went to Target and just got salads. Their Caesar salad was pretty good. I got that and I just had that for lunch, and then I had protein shakes for breakfast. So I was just, you know, I was set. The other thing, let's see, was there anything else to mention? I don't, of course, I'm sure something else will come to mind and then I'll just share it with you. But if you don't get a room at the Hilton, don't fret. There are plenty of hotels around the area that are within like less than 5 minutes of driving or walking to. So don't fret. I just don't know their rules on those hotels in regards to if they have apps or options and stuff like that. But it is really nice that you could just walk there, especially this time around where it was colder, as you saw. Was not expecting that. After I just came from Texas in shorts, I had to go to Utah in jeans, like within 4 days. It was just crazy. Anyways, and I think that's all I have for you guys in this video, and I will be actually, after this video, I'm gonna do the classroom because I want the shopping to be the rest of the week. So I'm sure if I forgot something, I will mention in those videos. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. I hope this was very helpful and informative. And if you have any questions about anything I mentioned, please by all means ask, or if you just want to say hello, I'm all for it. So you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next video. So take care.